Hello, everybody.
Hello, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Today on the show, we have some royalty. We have royalty in the house, and I can't wait to get into it. First, we're going to say hello to our guest. We're going to come back and introduce her, and I'm sure everybody's going to have a great time today. We're going to talk to nationally renowned world globe traveler, comedian Crystal P. Can you believe that? We got
Yes, yes,
Crystal
yes.
P on the show, y'all. Okay, so but I
I'm
gotta
excited.
yes, I am too. So I gotta ask you and Keela B and Crystal P a question. And that question is
Wait, let the DJ set up. Okay. What's the question?
where are we going today?
We're going all the way there. All the way there. Crystal, why can't we hear you?
Because I'm being silly.
Okay, girl. So she said it, y'all, all the way there.
Where are we going today? All the way there. Let's go. Where are we going today? 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 All the way
Oh, Crystal
Hey,
P
y'all.
is in the house. How you doing, Miss Crystal P?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We are so honored to have you on the show. We have been looking forward to this for quite some time now, and to
Mhm.
finally have you here is such a treat. And we know that our viewers are going to be blessed.
Well, I appreciate that. Y'all make a sister feel special.
And we ain't even done yet because today's person on our show, y'all, is Detroit's Queen of Clean. Also, she is the Chase, which stands for comedian, host, actress, singer, and entertainer. You've seen her open up for Steve Harvey, Diana Ross, Stephanie Mills, the Mighty Mighty OJs, the Whispers, Incognito, Maze, just to name a few. You've seen her on Showtime at the Apollo, Last Comic Standing, America's Got Talent, and she goes by the motto, the purpose of life is to have a life of purpose. Please welcome to the show, y'all, comedian extraordinaire and baker with the best, Miss Crystal P.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey. Now I really got to go all the way there. That
Exactly.
intro, though.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, so listen, I've been following you for quite some time. And so you are one of the few comedians. Oh, let me do this. Let me do this because I always forget our icebreaker. I always forget our icebreaker. So our icebreaker today is, and you get to go first, Miss Crystal P.
Oh, Lord, they got me on the hot seat.
Who is your
I'm about to
favorite?
melt the ice.
Yeah. Who is your favorite male comedian and your favorite female comedian?
Okay. Are they real male and female? Or do I have to identify as male or female?
We'll do the Arsenio Hall. Your mama call you girl. I'm gonna call you girl.
um, my favorite male comedian, this is the irony because everybody says I'm the queen of clean, is Red Fox.
Really? Yeah, I can see that. Yep, I can see that.
I
Okay.
love Red Fox.
Uh-huh.
His comedy was just dirty, but it was It was intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
It made you think. He was one of those that has set the joke and then just boom,
Yes.
drop the punchline. You think you're going left, and he takes you all the way there, and you go
Right.
right. And I just love him, and I love Sanford and Son.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just love Red Fox. I loved
Yeah.
everything about him.
Who's your favorite female?
It's really hard to narrow it down to one, but I love Betty White.
Mm.
Okay. I like Betty White too. She was funny.
I like Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's so many different styles. That's the one thing
it is.
about comedy, just like music. You have
Mhm.
different genres or style of comedy. So it's really hard to compare or pit one against the other because each one brings something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very true. That's
Yeah.
why sometimes it's kind of a difficult question because you like people for certain reasons,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for like you say, for their own style, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Right.
for what they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I get it.
Who do you
But
like?
I was
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so for me, outside of Crystal P being my favorite girl comedian, um, I like Dave Chappelle.
That's one of
Obviously,
my
because
husband's favorite.
I love him because he is not afraid to go out into the deep, and
And he goes
he
all the way there.
he definitely goes all the way there. Listen,
Right.
and so and but what I like about it is it's real, but it's real time event,
Mm-hmm.
and you might laugh about it, but it's stuff that is actually happening,
Mm-hmm.
and he is not afraid to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of mine is probably not a big popular one, but Trevor Noah.
Mhm.
And I know
He's
he
very
said female.
funny.
I know he said female, but I can only think of two guys. Wanda Sykes. I would probably say Wanda Sykes outside of Crystal P.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so mine, I'm kind of a guy who likes the underdog. I don't everybody that's up here and gets a lot of shine. Yeah, okay, they got their shine,
So that's
but
probably why you like me. I'm the underdog.
I like you because you make me laugh, and that is the whole thing. But as far as males go, Bill Burr.
Yes, he's
Bill
funny.
Burr makes me laugh. I
Yes, he
mean, I
does.
love how he makes himself so vulnerable because he has a black wife or slash girlfriend. I don't know what it is now, but when they were dating, the conflict that they had, like when he had to go pick her up, and he said as soon as he crossed over on 125th Street, he was like everything changed. His whole world changed. He had to start walking different. But anyway, um, Bill Burr is one of my favorites, and female Crystal B. But honorable
Yes.
mention to Cheryl Underwood.
Yeah.
I like
Cheryl
Cheryl.
I like Cheryl
Underwood
I
Underwood.
like
makes me
Cheryl.
laugh. I mean, because you guys, you and Cheryl Underwood are so identifiable. You say key
Mm.
things in your jokes that be like, I remember catching the bus. Yeah, I remember that. I remember this stuff. And it's so identifiable. That's why you want on my top of my list and Cheryl Underwood. So
That's why I like her too. Because Cheryl Underwood, she do keep it real. I mean, not
mhm,
that they all don't, but like you say, you like, yeah, I totally get that.
There's so
yeah.
many great ones. Like you said, sometimes it's those things that are relatable to you
Mm-hmm.
that really, make something resonate within you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Crystal Edwards.
Crystal says she's been kind of nervous trying to get her because she did like 3 different posts. Welcome, Crystal. I got to tell you, Crystal P. Crystal J. Edwards said, "Man, Crystal P is going to be on there. She is the Detroit gem. I got to make sure I
She
want to
did.
tell."
She sure did.
So,
Thank
Crystal P,
you.
where did you and Chris and not Crystal, but you and comedy intersect? How did that come into your life?
Well, I've always been a funny kid. One of those kids that had to be seen and heard. Even though coming up in my day, children were not supposed to be
It was
seen and heard.
yeah, pick a struggle.
Yeah, and I just was always the class clown,
Mhm,
always the just the center of attention. I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to entertain people.
mhm,
And then I grew up in a house where you went to school, then you graduated, then you went to college, you graduated, and you get a job. And
Mhm.
I just was not the typical person. It
Mhm.
took me
Okay.
forever to get my degree. I honestly thought that I was going to draw Social Security first. I did. I didn't graduate from college until 7 years ago, 6 years,
Okay,
8 years
that's
ago.
what's up. Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congrats. But when did you start?
In 19 BC. So I started, look, I'll be 52 in April.
Mhm.
So I graduated in 1990. I'm
Okay.
not one of those people that's afraid to, tell my age. I know a lot of people are like, don't say that. Listen, I
Right.
look better than some of these swamp donkeys that are only 20 years old. I'm just,
No, real talk though. Because I be looking like, well, you didn't had it bad and you just got
yeah,
here.
they
And you
looking
just
real
got here.
tattered.
Right?
So I graduated in 1990, and I did go to college back then. Here and there, you start and then get out, and then you say you're going to go back, and then you get married and start having kids, and
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it just I said one day I'm gonna get my degree. But as far as comedy, I used to be a Detroit police reserve,
Mhm.
Okay.
and my partner, somebody I'd gone through the academy with, the reserve academy with, was shot and killed right in
Mhm.
front of me.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that really brought the cliche of tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I felt it was at that time I kind of became sheltered.
Hmm.
And just, your mind when you experience trauma like that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do in life before I leave this earth. And I had
Mhm.
Hmm.
always wanted to do stand up. And so at 32 years old, I took a
Wow.
chance.
That's
Wow,
what's up.
man. But let me say this. Let me drop this little nugget. You passed right by that little degree that you earned, but that's nothing to sneeze at. If
Mm-mm.
Crystal P got a associate's and a bachelor's in business administration from
Mm,
Madonna University,
yes, I
Mm.
do.
That's a
so
blessing.
that ain't nothing to be sneezing at, Miss.
And to go back, because so many of us just be like, well,
It's
I
hard.
mean, what's
Yeah,
the,
It's expensive and it's hard.
it's expensive.
yeah. So and Madonna is expensive, like for real.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's a private school, right?
It's
So
a
Right.
yeah.
Catholic private school,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and it's like you got all these pastors walking around the school. There are a lot of
Reese.
teachers with the white collars on,
Yeah.
and a lot of sisters with their habits on. And
Hmm.
I'm like, why y'all not praying for financial aid around here?
Right.
Y'all so high.
Yeah, y'all should be getting some state help, which I'm sure they could.
I
But
was
look,
just gonna throw Jesus in the mix and just pay them 10% for my degree.
right.
Uh, so my next question,
Aaron,
you the
read Ratio comment first.
oh Rachel
Ratio.
Sanders. I went
Rochelle.
back at 40 and earned my BS degree.
Okay, now.
Okay, Rochelle, do
All right,
that.
Michelle. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was what when I graduated. That was this 23,
Hmm.
and I got one 9 years ago, so that would put me at what 42.
Wow.
Okay. That's what's
I,
up.
I was 42 when I got my associate, and 43 when I got my bachelor's.
Really?
Good, good.
Well,
That's
I'll
what's
say
up.
this. My mama got her associates when she was 60, 65.
So
That's
it's
what's up.
never too late.
Yeah, so go mama. Go
That's
mama.
what's up.
So Crystal P is crazy. How did that name stick?
That name came when I was 15 years old.
Really?
In middle and high school, I played basketball. When I got to high school, I played basketball my freshman year, but in sophomore year, I switched over to track and volleyball. Still played basketball.
Hmm.
And one of the young ladies on the team, uh, I'm gonna give her a shout out, Keisha Levesque.
Hmm.
She's like, Crystal P. And it just stuck. So
Hmm.
I've had that name since I was 15 years old, and everything that I've ever done in life, it was Crystal P.
Okay, okay. That's what's up.
But wait, the is crazy part.
That came from DeVal Murchison, who is the producer of Laugh-A-Lujah. It's a
Okay.
clean Christian comedy tour. And I toured with Laugh-A-Lujah for a few years. And he would introduce me because my Facebook page, they wouldn't let me have Crystal P on my personal page. And I
Mm-hmm.
never used my last name. And they wouldn't let me use Crazy because Crazy is no such as, nobody has
Right.
his name Crazy. So that's when I added EE. And then he was just calling me Crystal P is crazy. He would always introduce
Right.
me. So that's where I picked up the crazy part from. And
Okay.
because Crystal P was taken when I tried to get my website,
Mm-hmm.
then it formulated into Crystal P is crazy.
Wow.
Nice. Very
Okay.
nice.
Okay. Where do you draw your comedy from? Life experience or yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Life experience, things that I see, things that I, of course, experience, things that I want to see and want to experience.
Mm-hmm.
As a female comedian, I don't always talk about typical female jokes.
Right.
Okay.
I try to touch on things that people don't really expect to hear from a woman. Sport,
Okay.
football. I
Mm-hmm.
love football. Love football.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few women in my family on Sunday don't call me. Don't call me on Monday Night Football. Don't call me on Thursday. I love football. I love track and field. I love watching track and field.
Yeah.
But I talk about a lot of stuff that people don't usually expect from a person like me, but yet it's still relatable. I talk about family. I talk about church. I talk about school, graduating from college, financial aid. It's just so many things. Now that I'm older, I talk about, being 50 and over 50 and all the things that come with being 50 and
Yeah. Wow.
just everything. Anything you can make jokes about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know about. I'm not 50 yet, but I'm pretty close. And also, I know all about that whole cooking thing because, I almost went to, there was a person who was like trying to get me to be a chef, and I was like, nah, no, I don't want to do that. But it was like, man, you got the skills. I mean, Crystal P, you should taste my spaghetti. Anyway,
Oh,
shh, shh,
Crystal
shh,
Duck.
shh.
God. Just listen.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, Crystal P, tell us something as we move on, because that was totally the truth. All that was the truth.
Oh,
I read something about you that I was like, how do you do that?
Uh-oh.
I read that you do comedy shows, or you have done a comedy show, or made people laugh at a funeral.
Yeah,
I
they
love
was
it.
dying to hear me. Listen, I have done, I think, 3 or 4 funerals to date.
Really?
The very first time it wasn't planned. I was going to a funeral to pay my respects. Somebody that used to listen to the Angelo Henderson show.
Mm-hmm.
Went to pay my respects. Her husband passed away, and she was a longtime listener. And she said, Crystal P, I'm so, she recognized me. She hugged me. She said, do you think you could do some comedy for the funeral? Now, mind you, I'm not on the program.
Right.
And I'm looking around like next to the casket. Why? And she said her husband wasn't a traditional kind of guy.
Oh, I love it.
But I didn't know her husband. And I'm sitting here. I'm the type of person, if I walk into a funeral and if you don't have anybody to read the obituary, you don't have anybody to usher, I'm that person, I'll do it, because I just want to lift the burden off. But I never thought that I would have to say yes to doing comedy at a funeral.
That is what's up, though.
And I just kind of went up there and, let them know that her husband wasn't a traditional kind of guy, and I read the obituary to try to get some information about him.
Okay.
Try to tell her the jokes to him, but it worked just off the fly. And so it became something for people who don't want tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, Crystal. I
Mm.
would like that. I would like that because I don't like tradition.
Yeah.
So,
Even my dad just passed a couple months ago,
mhm.
and I didn't want uh, somebody who didn't know him doing a generic eulogy.
Right.
I was like, I'll do it. And people are like, what?
Really?
And some people I didn't even share it with because I didn't want them trying to talk me out of it.
Exactly.
Because my dad was comedic. And
Mhm.
I'm most like my dad. So
Mhm.
I was able to get up there and mesh the word with
I like that.
comedy
Mm-hmm.
and encouragement all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So you've done 4 funerals.
3
They
or 4.
they were all successful. You turned crying into laughter at everyone.
And I had one, it was almost like a live concert.
But see, I like that because when you going home to be with the Lord, you want people to remember the good things. And remember, it don't always got to be a sad, downtrodden. A lot of people like to stick to the old tradition type of stuff.
Hey.
Well, I know I'm going to laugh because if I get into heaven, it's sure going to be funny. Listen here. With the life I led, I'll be lucky if I can get a gift card or some frequent center miles or something to get up in there. I might be the landscaper or something out there cutting grass, waving.
But I have a question really fast. So it is very difficult. So like people, they often tell me how funny I am, right? And I'm like, I know I'm funny, but it's hard when people put you on the spot. So like when people say, Keela, you are so funny. Tell me one joke. And then I'm just like, well, it would have been funny if you hadn't asked me that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how do you just off the cuff? Because that's the part you got to get past. Like everybody, that's a different level of comedy, in my opinion.
Sometimes, if people just walk up to me or people introduce me like, hey, this is my friend Crystal P. She does comedy. Oh, tell me a joke.
That.
And I'm like, when you introduce your friend as a doctor, you don't ask him to give you a gynecology test.
Right.
Like, I'm not working. Let me just be the friend.
I like that. I like that.
Everyday people. But and like you said, just let it come naturally.
Right.
Now, when I want to tell a joke, I'll tell a joke. And sometimes when I'm on stage, especially churches or places that invited me back several times when I've been there, sometimes I'll just go and do an all off the cuff show, which is why I often get there early because it gives me a chance to scan the room and kind of grab some material,
right?
And just build from there. I'm on with Michael Collier a lot. He called me the last minute. Hey, he called me the other day, Thursday, last minute, and go on his radio show. And he does StreamYard. And while I'm in the backstage area, I just listen to him talk to all his guests. And I just do stuff based off of
what he said. So it's pure organic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wow. I'll read Crystal's. Once upon a time. Okay. No. I believe that was a great idea. When my grandmother passed, it was so loud at the visitation. One of my friends said the only thing missing was a drink in hand leaning on the casket. Was a drink in the hand leaning on the casket. My grandmother was telling my mother and I how many uncles dated the same woman. Wow. My mom and I were in laughing so hard. Man, those are I'm gonna say the best funerals, but those are the most entertaining when somebody gets up there and just start telling the truth.
I have been to some funerals
to
the point where if I hear a certain song, I just bust out laughing.
No, I know.
I'm not even gonna go there right now. I'm gonna repent because I'm a person that can't control.
Yeah.
Yes. And I had to just get up and excuse myself because I am going to laugh or I put my head down.
See, Crystal, that's how I am. And I have a cousin that I cannot sit next to.
He and I are
I'm
that person.
So I'm like, I cannot sit next to you. He sat all the way in the back of the funeral, right? I was up there giving a speech at the funeral, and he sent me a text and was like, dang, you wrote a lot of stuff. And I was like, I'm up there talking
Oh my
over near you, and I still can't
goodness.
be near you. It's crazy. Some people are just funny like that.
I am that person. Do not sit next to me.
So, Crystal, what would you consider would be the highlight? Because we've talked about little stages of your career. What would be the highlight of your career to date?
Mm, I had a few. Because I've opened up for so many different. I would say one of them was when I won my first little $500 when I opened up for Steve Harvey at the Fox in Detroit.
Okay.
Because there was, it was sold out, 5,000 people. Who doesn't want to perform in front of 5,000 people?
Exactly.
And that's when I got the title Detroit's New Queen of Comedy. And then opening for Diana Ross, because a lot of comedians don't get that opportunity.
Man,
Right.
that's beautiful.
And to be able to play, because she has a more of a mainstream audience, a mixed audience. So be able to perform in front of those. Actually, that show is what got me a lot of the old school concerts
Okay.
that I did.
Very
So the
nice.
Stephanie Mills, the Manhattans, the Whispers, the OJs, Jeffrey Osborne.
Yeah.
That was due to opening up for Diana Ross.
That's
Wow.
what's up. That's impressive.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Crystal,
Wait a minute, Doris Graham. That is the song that I cannot hear.
So, what my mother is talking about, we were at a funeral, and this girl got up to sing this song. And you know how it say, I gets to the part where it said, I sing because I'm happy. Wait, she said, how did that song start off?
Why should I feel this?
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, why should I feel the dum dum?
She said the dum dum?
The dum dum. When Jesus is my cum tum. And when I say, when I laughed, it was so uncontrollable that I felt so bad. I had to like shift over because my cousin was like, I can't believe you laughed out loud like that. What is a cum tum?
I'm about to put that little bar up we used to have on TV back when we were little, when the TV went. I'm done. I am done.
Yes. So that's the song you were referring to as well when they start.
I Won't Complain is the other one.
I knew. I know that was one of the ones you were thinking about.
I Won't Complain is one that when I see it in obituary, I excuse myself.
But what's funny about the song?
I went to my first husband, his cousin died. And the guy that was singing wasn't the best singer.
Okay.
And he's up there in this funny voice. Do you watch Chicago Fire? And you know the man with the voice. So he said, I can't remember how the song, Lord. I can't, but he had this voice.
Why should I feel discouraged?
When friends walk off and leave me, thank you, Lord. Won't complain. And he coughed. So it was a quickening in my spirit. I said, did this man just cough? And so then he went back through the verse and that chorus, and he was like, won't complain. And he turned the piece of paper over. He was singing from, when I tell you, I was in tears.
Oh, I
was
so
overcome with tears. The usher thought I was overcome with sorrow. And they were handing me tissue and rubbing my back. And I'm hyperventilating, but I was laughing so hard, and the tears were pouring down. You know, like Lenny said, and the tears were running down my face.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I was hollering. I could not believe he flipped that piece of paper over like that. And you have been singing the words. It's like, what are you doing? but that was one, and it was one other funeral. Oh, the other song that people can't sing, the Lord's Prayer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And this girl
And
was singing
everybody
the
want to sing
song,
it.
and she got to the part where what is it? And thine is the kingdom
Mm-hmm.
and the power. And you know how you got to get that
Yes,
glory.
yes.
When glory came out, it was flat. She was like, glory, like she pushed the note up. I said, and here I thought that was when you ate sour food.
Right.
That little nodule on her chin.
She pulled her trick bag out. She pulled her trick bag out.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Well,
hilarious.
I mean, I got to make sure I am at the next funeral show for Crystal Peas.
They'll be showing up for Crystal. They'll be like, wow, he was really loved.
Yeah,
They're going to be there for Crystal.
We get for Crystal. Hey, I got 2 tickets to see Crystal, man.
I know.
Oh, goodness.
So, Crystal, so your comedy career is like flying off the charts. How do you have time for anything else? Namely, it seems like you're just as famous for doing this other thing. Another title that you hold is baker. You bake cakes, cupcakes, and that business is just as probably just big as the comedy.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And how did that start?
I've been baking professionally since 1998.
Wow.
I've done so many things in my life. It's funny because back in college, well, I went to Michigan State. I didn't go. So
I don't blame you.
when you go to Michigan State, you registered. I went. So I was living there illegally. And my best friend, she used to go to Michigan State, and I stayed in her dorm room, and I was doing hair of all the people because Lansing is a little behind us as far as fashion and hair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing everybody's hair. I was the dorm beautician, and I would have 3 dryers running, blow the power out, and all the time. So people knew me as Crystal P, the hairdresser.
Okay.
When I left Lansing and came back home, then thereafter I started doing comedy, and so it's Crystal P. So one person that I used to work with at Chrysler, she said, "Girl, somebody out here using your name." My cousin talking about, "Oh, I knew a Crystal P back in college." She was like, "No, the only Crystal P is comedian Crystal P. That is her name." I was like, "Myra, that's the same person. That's me." She was like, "What? You used to do hair?" I used to sew.
Wow.
I used to do hair.
Wow.
I worked at Chrysler. I worked at UPS, comedy, baking. So I've done so many things. So I just do it. I'm one of those people. I'll learn
Hustler
anything,
for real.
try anything. That's how my show More Than the Eyes Can See came about.
Okay.
Title, because this person knows me as the comedian. This one knows me as the baker. This one knows me as the hairdresser. And that show is a culmination of many of my talents.
Okay.
So the last More Than the Eyes Can See show I did, I baked some of the baked goods for the VIPs. I produced the show. I did stand up. I sang. I played the bass. I played the drums. I played the keys, and I played the flute.
Girl. And the flute.
Wow. You know, I'm a beginning bass player. And I am
too. I bought the bass. My show was March 20, what was it? March 23rd this year. I bought the bass in January.
Really?
I was determined that I was going to play this bass for my show.
Yeah.
And went to Guitar Center. My friend, she's a bass player. She helped me pick something out. And I learned my little song. It was hard. It's not easy.
Right. It's tough.
I have a newfound respect for bass players.
Yeah. Verdine, Prince. Yep.
Listen.
Louis Johnson. Yep.
It is not an easy instrument. and I taught myself the way that I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I played 4 instruments in my show,
What?
and I
Mm.
designed my clothes that I wear. So I always have my hands in something.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And
Well,
then
A
even with
true
the
hustler.
baking during the pandemic, I was able to still use my talents. I taught baking classes online. I did comedy shows online.
mm,
So I actually made more money in 2020 during the pandemic than I've ever made in my life.
really?
Okay. Okay. And
Wow.
you know what's just amazing because so many that pandemic really put a lot of people it kind of threw you into your craft. You know what I mean? Like we have been talking about the podcast for the longest and it seemed like when the pandemic hit, everybody was trying to find different avenues of trying to, you know what I mean? So it's just amazing that
Oh
what
yeah.
was a struggle kind of launched some people forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing. 2020 was kind of a year of reflecting and
Yep.
learning,
Mhm.
and you either went towards the learning curve or you
Yep.
went towards the depression curve.
Mm.
Yep. That
And
is so
it
true.
was pretty much, and that's how my classes came to be for the baking
Okay.
classes, because I saw so many people on Facebook. They were depressed. I'm in this house, can't leave. I'm lonely. A lot of people were single.
Yeah.
I can't, and it was heartbreaking to see these people online. And I turned to my husband. I said, "What if I taught baking classes, taught children how to bake?" Because people had always
Oh.
asked me, "Would I teach?" And I said, "No, no." And so during that time, I she said, "I think it's a good idea." And my first class, I had 50 people register.
Mm-hmm.
I had my first two
Wow.
classes with 50 people, and it just went on from there. And I
I
did it
love
for
it.
2 years.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
And
That's
people are
what's
still waiting for me to bring them back. My kitchen is being
yeah.
remodeled, so but I'm working. It gives me a chance to work on my cookbook. I am going to get that cookbook finished this year, and
Mm-hmm.
I hope to have it released at least by Thanksgiving.
Mm. Well, we know one thing: Crystal P ain't lazy. She may be
Yeah,
crazy, but she
I
ain't
am.
lazy.
I do everything but what I'm supposed to be doing, like cleaning. Uh, I hate all water chores, dishes, laundry, mopping, windows.
Girl, I can't stand mopping either, girl.
I
So,
Yeah,
of
it's
course,
hard.
so Crystal P, I've heard Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, and a few other known comics, Kevin Hart, talk about their bombing experiences. Has there ever been a bombing experience for Crystal P?
I've had a few shows where I was just like, ugh, like my timing was off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two parts to that. There's the show where you just like, ooh, I'm really tanking it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna exit stage left. Uh, where you have just, and then there's shows where you're like, oh, this audience just hates me. And
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
then I'm a person that shakes hands after the show and greet people, and people are like, oh, I absolutely loved you. And I'm like, well, we had the same show.
Right.
But then I had to realize not everybody is gut busting laughter loud. Some people
Right. That
just are
is so
kind of,
true.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, and so sometimes you might think you're tanking and you're not, and then sometimes, yeah, you really are. It hasn't happened often, but I've had, and sometimes it comes from not being where you're supposed to be. And this is
Ah.
Mm.
why I tell people I don't always accept all money is not good money.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because I know what crowds work for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll stay away from certain crowds because I just don't appeal to them.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right, right. And that comes with true acceptance though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody just feel like, well, everybody should like me, but we all have a certain audience,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Everybody is not going to like you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-mm.
know,
They
you
Right.
really
just want
aren't.
to capture a good 75% of the audience. There's people that love me, and there's people, oh, they just think I'm just too much.
Mm.
Right. And yeah, and those are never your people.
Right.
If you ever think I'm too much, you are just not my people.
And that's with anything. When I bake cakes, my prices unfortunately are not Walmart prices.
Right.
And your budget is not my fault. So
Right. I mean, it's the truth, and another side to that though, Crystal, is also being the person who, because if it's baked at home and it's really good, you're going to pay the price because these people aren't mass producing where they can sell them at cheaper prices, right? But then there's this other part where you have the person gets mad at the consumer, and then they'll say, well, if you can't afford me, then go somewhere else. Well, that's what we do. And then when we do, you write another post saying you don't support me. Well, I can't afford you, girl.
Well, see, I don't have that. I have my faithful. I don't advertise, which is why some people don't even know that. Even with my comedy, I just updated my website a few months ago. I have updated my website since 2015 because 98% of my work was word of mouth.
That's what's up.
They grabbed my card.
That says a lot.
So I was working consistently.
That says a lot.
So I kind of stick to my faithfuls and go to the website, sign up for my newsletter, and that way you'll know what upcoming shows, about upcoming shows, when my cookbook will be out, because I send blasts. We don't spam you. I don't send out stuff every 2 minutes. I send out stuff when it's necessary. But yeah, and check out my website. Let me know what you think. My nephew built my website.
Okay.
Nice. So and I think that's important too, because word of mouth referral to me it speaks high volumes in my opinion.
Last night I did a show for a 60th birthday party. The young lady who hired me, she booked me 9 months ago.
Okay.
She saw me. I performed for Ferris State, the Christian college students. Performed for them in 2009. She kept my information
all the way from then.
And then she saw me online at a church in Nashville.
Okay.
And I want you to do my mom's 60th birthday party. So I'm a person, I love building relationships, and that's why it's important for those of y'all that change your phone number every 2 minutes.
Oh, girl.
Oh, girl. Book you. And you don't have phone numbers. It's important to be regular. I need your phone number to be like Metamucil, be regular. So somebody can contact you. Right. I've had this phone number my whole comedy career.
I like that. I like that.
That's cool. That's cool. I do know about bombing because I've done some. If anybody in the chat want to ask Crystal P a question, please put it in the chat. We'll make sure it gets read. Yes. But I do know something about bombing and public speaking, Miss Crystal P, because I had to give like a message or two in church, and I thought some jokes I had was going to just knock the church down, and it was crickets. And then you know how your body just starts to respond to that, like your brain is like, sit down, you start sweating. Yeah, and for me, I started getting hot in my stomach, and like I had to like use the bathroom like immediately, like right now. You got to go to use.
Timing is everything when it comes to comedy.
Right.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Timing, and once again, like you stated earlier, knowing your audience.
Oh yeah.
Because you might have to shift depending on your audience.
And that's another reason why I got work, because other comedians messed it up. One comedian, they had an old school concert, an OJ Spinners type concert. So, these people have been in the business 50, 60 years.
Right.
The comedian goes up, MF this, talking about women's private parts and eating this, in front of these grown folks. Sir, these are women that wear a slip under their dress. You can't say
right.
These are people that still wear pantyhose.
Right.
So it's important to know who you're performing for. And it's not that I'm the funniest or the best or the skinniest or the prettiest. It's because I know what to do in the situation. And I tell people, sometimes talent can get you there, but your integrity will keep you there.
Yes,
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
so important.
And so it's important, to really know your audience. When I opened for Stephanie Mills, the first time I opened for her, I think was 2015.
Mhm.
I am still getting work from somebody that said, I saw you open for Stephanie Mills
Oh wow.
at Andiamo.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
so that is where a lot of it comes from.
Mhm.
But a lot of people, some people, you can't tell them anything.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Right.
I've been doing this for such and such. I've been doing it for almost 19 years, and I'm still learning.
And
Mm.
some people they just got to keep hitting them brick walls, and then when they sitting down, you like, well, she's flying, she's steadily soaring, but when we were trying to help you, you didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
Hmm
Yeah.
hmm
So tell us about some things you got coming up. You mentioned a show. What is it called? Cross Eyes. What was it?
What's that?
What did you say the name of the show was?
More than the eyes can see.
Oh, okay, yeah. More
What? You're not about to put glaucoma and wandering eye in my show. So my next More Than the Eyes Can See show is already scheduled for Saturday, March 16th, 2024.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Okay.
Tickets will probably be released right around. I usually start promoting 6 months out, but then really push it come December and January.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be at the Michael Guido Dearborn Performing Arts Theater.
Yeah.
Right there on Michigan Avenue. So we're already booked. Demetrius Neighbors is my MD.
Okay.
My band, I have an awesome band. I have awesome vocalists, vocal support, Nikki Gio, Kyra B. And those are some singing sisters.
Wow.
This year I had Charnissa Butts do the soprano this year because I lost the soprano due to illness. And she just came in and it was as if she had been there all along.
Wow.
We had 650 people at this past show in March of earlier this year. It was 650 people. So just keep building and building the show. Give something people. So I'm trying to work on something that somebody has never seen me do before.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I've already started working on the song list and what we're going to do. So it takes a lot to put on a production like that.
Okay.
And I don't get any sponsorship. I pay for my own.
Wow.
So I pay for all
Really?
everything. I finance it from my comedy. I take a percentage of my comedy
Okay.
and fund the show.
Okay. Girl.
What that date again was March 16th?
March 16th. It's a Saturday. And the show will most likely be about 7 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Usually VIP is 6 o'clock. My VIP is very popular because I don't just hand you a bag of chips that came from Costco in the box and a water with my label wrapped around it. You really do get VIP treatment. We do well. The desserts are always on point. This past year we did peach cobbler, German chocolate cake, strawberry shortcake, and we had one other. We have 4 desserts. I can't remember what the 4th one was. So, banana pudding, real banana pudding.
The real made with the real custard
on the stove with egg yolks.
with your mom sweet stirring.
And I make my own vanilla extract. That's
what?
Yes, I make my own vanilla extract. I house it. It takes me about 6 months for it.
I want to try that. I want to try that so bad.
So my vanilla is strong and pure. It's not watered down. Great aroma, everything, because it's made with vanilla beans, real vanilla beans. But it takes me about 6 months to make it.
Really?
And, so that's why when people call me, no, I'm not doing the cake for $20. First of all, DTE. Nowhere on my bill are they charging $20 per kilowatt. So I will not be turning on any ovens and kitchen lights and using consumers and water. Have you seen the cost of water?
Yes.
Girl.
Everything, even supplies, boxes, boards,
Yeah.
Food coloring. You can't even make a red velvet cake. I'm about to start making mauve and pink
You know,
because the food coloring
that's
is
why I was
up.
laughing at this one lady because she came to sell me her cupcakes, right? And even though they were decent size, I was like, girl, $5 a cupcake. But then I started thinking stuff is going up. The price of everything is going up. So even though I still meant what I said, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
And if it's good, I won't have a problem paying it. But
right.
one time I'm a person, if you have an event, I come to your event because I try to support local artists, singers, poets, comedians. I'll pop up at shows if I'm not working. And they'll have the vendors, and I will support vendors, and I support other bakers. I will call and order a pound cake from people. People like, you a baker? Look, I don't feel like it today. I'm hungry.
Right. I get it.
This one young lady had these cookies, and they look good. And they look good.
So A for presentation.
But taste, quality.
What it tastes like, Crystal B?
Paper. I couldn't take, and it's probably, and you know, I have a certain palate because I bake.
Right.
It lacked cinnamon. It lacked brown sugar. Any sugar.
Oh no!
It just, and it was hard. It was.
Wait, Crystal, maybe it was a vegan cookie.
Don't you blame that on the people that eat lettuce. Listen, that cookie was horrible. It was. I've tasted some cakes that were heavy as my clothes. So some people can do it. Some people, and there are times I've baked stuff, and I'm like, "Whoa,
it's off." But you know when your stuff is off, which is different. I remember one year my mom was baking this cake, and then I'm gonna ask her a question after this. My mom makes the bomb pound cake too. You know, we got all of us got our old school people in our family, right? And so at work, they started asking, like, can your mom make the pound cake? Can your mom make the pound cake? I'm like, okay, sure. So my mother would. That would be her gift to the Christmas party every year. Well, one year, I don't remember what happened, but this particular year, she wasn't going to do the pound cake. So I asked somebody else to do it. So I'm used to my mom's pound cake. Girl, I am not exaggerating, Crystal. I went to go pick up that lady pound cake and it hit the ceiling because it was so light and I wasn't used to that. And she was like, girl, I said, what so fat? Like, why so light? She was like, well, I'll put all of that stuff in there and it absolutely tasted like you didn't. So I'm like, my mother, we should go taste it. Like, this ain't it.
That was a diet pound cake.
Right. Sounds like pound cake light.
Right. Half a pound cake.
Right.
You remember your first paid event, and was it a success or a bomb? Actually, it was a success.
Okay.
Now, when I first started comedy, Black people wouldn't hire me.
Really?
Because I worked clean, it was almost, they didn't know how to fit me in, so to speak. And white people will hire me all the time.
Wow.
That's how I ended up in so many different cities in the state of Michigan. And then somebody heard me singing doing a comedy show. I was doing this little skit that I do with Amazing Grace. And they asked me would I come to their home. Their husband was turning 75. And so I started doing the backyard parties and those types of parties. So that's when I really started making my money, was doing the private stuff.
Okay.
And even when my very first comedy show, when I did open mic in November 2004, I was the hottest open mic person on the stage. Because in my mind, I already felt like I'm a star. do my thing, and I'm not using notes, because when you're an amateur, you can use notes, taking note. I'm an act. You're gonna think I've been on Queens of Comedy or something. That's how my mind was.
And that's
I always thought bigger than what I was. And I just went out there and hit it. And so that's what drew people to me.
I like that.
Hey, Lisa. I gotta see which Lisa.
Well, Bogarty was her maiden name.
Yes, Lisa was. Oh my God. Y'all about to make me cry.
I know.
I've been wondering where she was. So the girl that gave me the name Crystal P, Keisha Rescue, we all graduated together. I was the class secretary. Lisa was I think the treasurer or the vice president. My best friend Jill was the president, and then Keisha was either I'm getting her and Lisa's positions confused, but we were all class officers.
Nice, very nice. Me and Lisa go way back too. It's such a small world. Like the circles are so small.
Yeah, right.
Oh wow! Lisa was the treasurer, so that meant that Keisha was the vice president.
Yes, very nice.
Wow, what school is this?
Oak Park High School.
Okay. Wow. All right.
That's 90. And I'm Aaron, I'm about to blow your mind. I was gonna say I was about to blow your hair, but that's already blown. So
can't do that.
A lot of people don't realize, as much as I do comedy, I was at one time doing 85 shows a year.
Wow.
90 shows a year.
Stay busy.
Making. I still have a job. I actually have a regular daytime job.
Wow.
Are you serious? Wow. So you got a 9 to 5. You doing stand-up comedy, like Aaron said, off the grid. You baking. You got a husband, and you just doing all of this stuff.
And he DJs on the side. He works for the city. I work for the state.
Y'all be hustling. I ain't mad at y'all.
A man don't work, or one man don't work, don't eat.
Got that right. You got that right.
I've always had a hustle in my spirit, and it's funny, when my dad passed and I read, because I typed this obituary, but I said, oh, I see why I am the way I am. My dad did so much. It was just like, okay, we're going to have to cut some of this, because I'm not passing out an encyclopedia at the funeral. This is too much to read and type. But I just always have had my hands in something. Since I've gotten married, I've fallen back a little bit. I try to. Now, my husband, he thinks I'm busy. I'm like, I'm not busy. No. No, it's not.
Right. Well,
love it.
Man, it is. I'm just gonna ask one last question, but we got like what? How much time we got?
2 minutes.
Literally 2 minutes. Like literally.
1 minute.
Okay, real quick. Well, let's use this time to remind people of your website, and to see the show. What is it? Cockeyed what?
The More Than the Eyes Can See.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The website is www.crystalpiscrazy.com, and I have it listed on my tag. I'm on social media. Follow me on Instagram at Crystal P is Crazy. Crystal P is Crazy on Twitter if you're that old school. And I'm on Facebook, comedian Crystal P. TikTok, Crystal P is Crazy.
What about?
Check out the website. Definitely check out the website and let me know.
Yes, check her website.
Sign up for the newsletter, so you can find out about upcoming shows. Get like I said, I have my cookbook. Actually, it's going to be a dessert book.
Oh, okay.
So many of the things that I taught in my class, I'm bringing it to this dessert book.
Okay. What about Black Planet? No, I'm just kidding. So we want to thank you for coming on the show, ma'am. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And you know what? The challenge right quick is gonna be laugh more.
Yeah.
Just learn to laugh more.
The Bible says laughter doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dryeth the bones. That's what
you got that right.
17:22 says. So laughter does indeed heal.
It does.
I gotta get off of here. Instagram won't let y'all post.
Right. Yes. Bye, y'all. Thank you, Crystal.
I love you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.